This edition of MacVoices is brought to you by the Take Control ebook series. The answers you need now from leading experts. Get them all at takecontrolbooks.com. Hi, I'm Chuck Joyner. MacVoices is in Las Vegas for NAB. We're in the VideoHelper booth talking to Stu about their production music and what it can do for your productions. Stu, it's great to see you.
Great to see you. I'm happy to be here and still awake.
I'm right there with you. And this is only the first day. That's the scary part.
I know, it's sad. I've lost my voice already. It's really not good.
Stu, when I came by, I have to say there are several stock audio and stock music people on the floor. Your marketing really kind of grabbed me. You don't claim to solve all my problems. I think you said something about overthrowing the government.
When we're not talking about hookers, yeah. Generally, we try that.
Yeah, well, there's some other things that would kind of keep us away from the clean tags. So we just walked right up to it, but we won't cross the line.
Promise.
What does VideoHelper do?
We're a production music library, and the thing that makes us different, because there are a ton of music libraries out there, is a lot of music is meant to be background. It's meant to be really pretty. If you're doing like a documentary on World of the Squirrel or My Favorite Yoga Mats, that's probably much better. Other music libraries have stuff that sits there and behaves. I come from a promo background, which in 15 seconds you had to get someone's attention, get an emotion across, and tell a story. Every one of our cuts tells a story. That basically we always are kind of building to some kind of climax. We make the spots so they're modular, that they can be easily edited. That they've all kind of basically within a cut, you can take any part of that cut and put it anywhere. It's because we don't change key or tempo. And it's a lot more in your face. There's tons of music out there that will repeat something over and over again. We figure people can do that on their own, so they can loop it all they want. So we try to make it so that each measure is basically modular, that the melodies we put in, because melody is really important, is short. So it's less than 5 seconds. So again, if you have a drawn-out melody, it's harder to edit. But if it's basically a whole bunch of hooks, you can put them together in which way you want, and it'll still make sense.
And I gather from that I can also stretch it out, tighten it down to whatever my production needs are?
Exactly. You can loop entire measures, sections, literally, which designed to basically be, so that every section ends with some kind of transitional element, so it'll take you into whatever mood you're going into next.
Now, I took a look at your library, and of course, with the things you're describing, I would expect from hard rock, heavy metal, but I also saw some jazz in there. I saw some things that are maybe a little bit less in your face, but do you take them and turn them into your face?
That's a nice way of saying ruin them. Yes, we really do. Because other libraries have done polkas and jazz and heavy metal and 80s hair, rock stuff to death. If we do it, we try to do it differently than they would. We try to hybridize it. We try to make it so that it's our own. So that, because our clients to come to us probably are sick of what everyone else is doing, and they do it. Everyone else does it very well. I can't do a polka, but I can do a polka mixed with, like a John Cage polka, or I can do a polka with, 700,000 trombones or tubas. That's more interesting to me, except the tubas part. But we like to have we like to basically try stuff that other libraries haven't done to death.
Okay, it's very interesting, and it shows in the selections. I didn't get to listen to everything, obviously, but yeah, there's a lot there. Is this all originally created music by your folks?
Oh yes, actually we have 6 composers on staff. Both my business partner Joe Saba and I are composers, and we have 4 other guys. We write about 90% in-house because everything is built to be modular. It's very hard to teach a composer who has done production music to try to build a story and try to tell a story visually with music. So we hire outside very, very rarely, but occasionally we do have freelancers to help us out.
How about the licensing of this? If I buy something from you, what can I use it for?
Pretty much everything. We're an exclusive library, so our material is only within our library. And you could get it on a blanket, literally you could use it for commercials, promos, movie trailers, interstitials for actual shows, in programming, out of programming, internet, everything.
I was just going to say, web, broadcast?
Most definitely. The web is basically the broadcast of tomorrow, I hope.
Judging by the show, it certainly looks like it. There's a lot of streaming stuff here. What kind of pricing are we talking about?
We are basically middle of the road, actually even a little on the higher end, only because we strongly believe that a lot of our competition will we'll undercut prices. We don't play that game. We have an established rate sheet. When you call, you won't have to speak to a salesperson because we don't have salespeople. We have a rate sheet that basically sits on our website. You know what we charge. There's no hidden prices, no, games we play. And, we basically won't compete against our competition on price because it's not about price. It's about the music. And we're not crazy expensive. We're not the high end or the really low end. We believe that if you want good music, and the time it took us to write it, hopefully we've met in the middle. You agree with we're charging a decent rate and that we won't drive you out of business.
Stu, that's very refreshing to hear someone value their own product that way, to not try to do the typical rush to the bottom, and say, oh, we deliver more value than anybody else, And I really, that appeals to me a lot, because it means that I won't hear, if I choose your music for one of my projects, I won't hear it on somebody else's country music station or, a used car ad.
Exactly. Yeah, we try not to we want to be well used but not ubiquitous. We don't want to be everywhere. And there are some companies that strive to be everywhere, but people get sick of them very quickly. We don't necessarily want to be that company. It doesn't make me any happier when somebody goes, I heard you on 2 major networks at the same time. Same cut. It's not what I want to hear.
Isn't that interesting? And they think that's good and you cringe at it.
Yeah. Yes, it's definitely a difference. I mean, a lot of other companies, the people who actually do the marketing are not the musicians. A lot of the guys who do the marketing are people who sold Pepsi and Coke and toothpaste. And I mean, to them it is. And I don't think that's bad, because they're excellent businessmen. They're very good strategists. But ultimately, they have to care about the music, and we really do. We want to see it placed well, and also we want people who feel as rabidly about music as we do. We don't want somebody throwing our music together and editing and just making a hack job of it. We really try to make it so that to make a hack job of it, you're going to have to try really hard,
I could probably do it.
Actually, me too.
Back to the pricing, when you say you're middle of the road, maybe even on the high end, what does that translate into? And how do you sell? Do you do the credit system, or do I buy a track from you and that's what I pay?
It's usually on a per project basis. I mean, we'll do, for example, if you do a national commercial, we have a national commercial rate. If you do a national promo, we have that established on the website. We do blankets for people, and those are usually harder we can't necessarily advertise those because it depends on how you're going to be using it. If you're a small affiliate station, and depending on what market you're in and how you'd like to use the music, do you want internet rights, worldwide, satellite, all that stuff. But it's funny, we're very aware of what our competitors charge, and we really try to stay within the realms of sanity.
Okay, and again, I like the fact, because it sounds like if I buy from you, I buy for what I'm going to use it for, not, one size fits all.
Right. Because we don't want people, I think it also is what really upsets us, is when we don't want people to use our music who aren't happy using it. Like, I really don't like, sometimes we've had people who have had blankets and they said they were forced to use our music. And at that point we said, something, we'll let you out of the blanket. If you really don't want it, we will let you, we don't want you to be stuck with it. And thankfully nobody's taken us up on that, but it's happened. It's, where we've actually gone to people and said, you can do it if you want. And they've called us back a couple of days later. But we don't want people to be, unhappy with it. It's really important to us that they're interested in using us as we are writing it for them. That sounds way too.
Yeah, but again, it's refreshing. It's refreshing. I mean, it says something about how seriously you take it and the fact that you're trying to do the right thing. So.
Actually doing the right thing is, my business partner is a very similar, we're actually very good friends. Our wives are actually childhood friends. Long story. But it's, in a business, a lot of people treat the music business like it's the music business. But production music business is the TV business. And the TV business, to me, is a lot more realistic. I come from a news background. I was a producer for news promos. And it was just less BS and not I love you, and then, as soon as they walk away, I go, that guy's a moron. It's if something's bad, someone says, look, that's horrible. We'll either we go with something else or, whatever. I like that. And we're both from New York, and we both feel that, quite honestly, it's like the world has enough BS to deal with every day. All I really want is to just be honest and tell people, we can't give you that discount, we can't do this. It's basically, we'll try to meet you halfway, but we're not trying to lie to you. We're just trying to basically say, if we do this, we're devaluing music in general. and we're making our product look bad.
Great points, all, and not points that are made very often. Where do we send folks to sample your music and find out if it's right for them?
They can go to www.videohelper.com. I still use the www because I had to think of what actually my website address was. But it's videohelper.com, and you can do searching. You don't even have to sign up. If you want to go through our entire library, you go to vhsearch.com or searchvh.com. We have both sites. And just listen to everything. And if people like it, hopefully they'll call us. But nobody will call you. That is the main thing. We've been in business 18 years, and we've survived entirely on word of mouth, because I don't believe we can sell somebody a piece of music like it can, like telling someone the color blue is a lot better than the color red. It's just personal preference. We're not curing cancer. We're not changing the world. It's music.
And I think I also saw an iPhone and Android app.
Yes, actually, we did that for the show because we have these demos. But basically, we decided that all the information here, if people didn't want to carry this around, we'd try the app and see what happens. The app is basically just a way of getting to our playlist on SoundCloud. So if people want to have access to the music on their phones, if they're really bored.
Stu, I really appreciate the time. It's very impressive, and it's been a fun interview. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Chuck. I had a good time.
Folks, we'll have more from NAB in Las Vegas. I'm Chuck Joyner. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for links, show notes, to subscribe, to connect with Chuck on Twitter, app.net, Google+, Facebook, and for more Apple, Mac, and tech-related shows, including Mac Voices, Mac Notables, the Mac Jury, and the Mac Voices Briefing. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com.